one reason that I believe in my channels and the aliens and all of that stuff, so, besides the million reasons why I give you, is because I've realized again, like, I'm sitting in the consequences of the actions of, like, having to not settle and to choosing to not settle and to choosing to heal. And it's painful, it's isolating, and it's dark, and it's lonely, and you have to take accountability, and you have to sift through a lot of pain and trauma, and you have to go to the origins of it, and you have to humble yourself and take accountability for the things that you did wrong. And that is so much easier, confirmation burps, when you have the community to do it, the space to do it, the time to do it, the rest to do it. And that's what all these people are going to get. I think it will be a little difficult because it's going to be easier for them to heal. They're going to have more incentive. They're going to have all the things that we all wish we had right now while we were doing this. Because, all of you guys are doing this too. You guys have chosen the harder path to heal, to also push past and see past the systems of oppression, and to see past the systems of the world. And I saw a post the other day, this guy, he was saying it's so hard to be awake right now. Like, I want to go back into the Matrix. Like, it's so hard to just, like, see all the flaws. And it's like, you guys are taking the harder route because we're going to have to see the flaws before the system goes down, where there's going to be people who won't see the flaws until the system goes down. And then they will have all these support and resources to be able to emotionally handle that. And so that's why I'm saying if you're doing the work now, you will be rewarded for that. Now, again, I'm sorry. I think it's going to be 2 years still. I wish I had better news for all of us. I wish it was tomorrow. And so that's where it's like you have to challenge yourself and rewire your neural pathways. And you have to find meaning in this time. And you have to find meaning in the purpose and the pain of this. Why were you chosen to be awakened right now? Why did your soul do that? And I truly believe with all my heart and soul, it's to rewire our brain around our circumstances, which has been single-handedly the most difficult thing I've ever had to do. And I've been able to do it around everything except my abusive parents. Like, I've been able to do it around everything except for work, right? Having to go to like a 40-hour work week. Both of those things I just dread and I hate so much. But I can just feel that God is challenging me to rewire my brain around it. And like, all I do is, and in the thing that guy said is like, now I'm awake and nothing's ever going to change. And it's like, that's the challenge. You have to believe in hope. Radical hope. Radical faith that this place can and will change. Even if you don't believe in aliens. Believe that something miraculous can happen for us. That people can change and that they will awaken, and that God would not bring us all to this awakening and this awareness for nothing. You know what I'm saying? It's like, that's just, I call it pessimism. I just see people won't push past that belief of pessimism. Now, again, I get channels that help me with that. So, of course, I understand people who don't even, who aren't on the timeline of like the aliens or like, again, I get very niche channels about the specifics of that, right? People are on the timeline of Hope with Bashar. He talks about open contact. Same with Emily H. Eaton. She also talks about open contact. Both of them are really helping people with their neural pathways and rewiring them into hope. And that's what my channels do, is that there is hope for us. And that actually there's purpose in this. And so like, that's what I keep telling myself, is it won't always be this way. Very soon things will change. And God is cruel and he is evil for this entire system and this entire world, but he is not that cruel and he is not that evil. And for the first time in history, all these people are coming to awareness of all the cracks in the foundation, and they're revealing it to us, right? Through the Epstein files, the UFO files, CIA whistleblowers, any type of whistleblower that's come out. And they've been doing that since the 80s, really. All the conspiracies and stuff, like, we're seeing the cracks for the first time ever. And so it's like, find purpose in that. What would be the meaning for that, right? Because all it does is piss us off, right? It just makes us really fucking angry and upset and like, what the hell, we're fucked, But it's like, No, for me, there's got to be something deeper. There's got to be something more. And so what that is to challenge us right now, is to challenge us into, like I've been saying, God's going to force people into rewiring their neural pathways. Otherwise you will spiral, and you will feel despair, and you will feel hopelessness, and you will feel all those feelings, anger, which are all very valid, but that's where you get stuck. And that's the challenge, is to not get stuck there, because it'll kill you. It'll kill you slowly. It'll drive you mad. It'll drive you insane. It could drive you even into harmful behaviors towards people, which is what I've been in, even here in my abusive situation. Like, I have to challenge myself around this, and I have to rewire around this family that I'm in. Because God's not taking me out of it yet. And so that means that I still have work to do here. And it's the last piece is like, you know, I have to go get a job again. And so those are two things that I really struggle with as far as my neural pathways go. Like, I just get really angry and resentful that I have to, like, participate in this matrix system, and I have to be around abuse. And it's like God is challenging me to just, every time I'm around it, okay, it won't always be this way. Okay, my dad will be held accountable. Okay, my mom will heal. Okay, one day it won't be this way. Okay, this is my circumstances now, but this is not my circumstances forever. Okay, this is the circumstances of the world, but it's not our circumstances forever. And have radical hope and faith that people can change. And I've seen it. Being around my ex, you know, again, talking to him has really helped me with that. Because I'm like, I never believed that he would ever get out of trying to manipulate me. Or being aware that he was manipulating me. He knows exactly that he was manipulating me. He knows exactly what he was doing. And he knows why he was doing it. And that is miraculous for him. And it's because he's been taking shroomies and being more healthy and rewiring his neural pathways. And, you know, learning about Joe Dispenza and body, you know, healing connection and all this stuff. And so, you know, when people put in the work and they feel safe and they have rest to do this stuff, people will miraculously change. I just think people don't understand, like, that it's just our circumstances that cause people to be who they are. We're all still in survival. We all still just don't feel safe to change, to switch over. And that's why, again, I believe in my channel so much, because there has to be something radical that comes to help us so that people will feel comfortable and safe coming over to this idea and accepting the lies of the reality in which we exist in. People can't do it because they are way too afraid of what that means, because then people feel helpless. People, because we can see people who are awakened feel helpless right now. They feel angry, they feel mad, they're pissed, you know, there's all this stuff. And it's like, that's our challenge. God is challenging us. He's going to force us into rewiring our neural pathways. Otherwise, you will just sit there miserably, because I've been, you know, I've learned from my mistakes, and all God has been doing is challenging me to rewire my brain into radical hope and faith, and trust that people can change, and that he's going to come help us, and that things are going to work out for us. And again, even if aliens don't come, which I still believe they will, because we need med beds. There's too many people who have, like, fucked up teeth and are in so much pain physically and have seriously physical ailments from the stress of this society. So, like 30-year-olds, you know, 20-year-olds, like, have chronic illnesses. Like, people, like, my ex just found out he had Lyme disease. He has a horde of, like, issues because of the stress of his life, and he had cancer as a child. So there's just so many things that the system has done to destroy our bodies and our minds and our souls. Like, destroy it. And our trust and our faith in the world. And that's why God's like, you have to challenge yourself to have that right now, because you don't. That's the only thing you're missing. That is what you're missing, is that radical hope and faith right now. Just right now, until it becomes true. And so it's the hardest. It's just like, I don't think we realize, like, what our soul signed up for. But we're not just in college, bro. We're in, like, some, you know, like, PhD, master's, doctorate degree program right now of rewiring our neural pathways and believing that this world can change in radical, miraculous ways. And once people feel safe and can heal in certain ways, they will miraculously change. And people have examples. That's why I keep saying you're the new earth leaders, because they'll have examples of people who were able to do it, to overcome the programming, to see through it, and to thrive despite it. And it's the most challenging thing you could possibly, because we're in death right now. We're in death. It feels like death. And so that's who we are, the light workers. We find life in death. And then we find hope when there is no hope. We find faith when there is no faith. We find trust when there is none. What's our